Libraries store the energy that fuels the imagination. They open up windows to the world and inspire us to explore and achieve and contribute to improving our quality of life. That is a quote from Sidney Sheldon, an American writer, Broadway, television, and film producer. I think that quote perfectly encapsulates all the possibilities and opportunities that libraries provide to their local communities. Public libraries are well known for providing services and programs to young children, but they also provide vital services and resources for students and adults from a variety of backgrounds and interests. For me, public libraries are sacred spaces, somewhat similar to a church, temple, or another place of worship. Like religious spaces, libraries are considered a safe space for any and everyone, regardless of their ethnicity, educational background, or socioeconomic status, to freely enter for the pursuit of knowledge. There are usually no membership fees outside of property taxes that are allocated for getting a public library card within your local area. Many public libraries also offer free day passes if you are not from the area or local district. My first job was working at a local library during high school for 4 years. During that time, I saw patrons that were struggling with homelessness, unemployment, and other struggles come inside and use our services free from judgment. My library has also opened up a warming center during the cold winter months and as a cooling center during the hot summer months. All have been welcome regardless if they have a library card or not. In this presentation, I will be discussing the different services, resources, and programs that are generally offered for young children, students of all ages, and adults, and explain why public libraries are such a valuable resource for everyone within their local community. First, as you may already be aware, public libraries generally offer a story hour for young children ages 0 to 5 years old with their parents or guardian. The children's librarian reads a selection of young children's books, usually around a particular theme like fairy tales or bears. Small libraries will offer this at least once a week, while larger libraries might offer this program multiple times a week. Most public libraries have a children's librarian on staff who has a master's degree and is trained in research and technology sciences, as well as children's literacy education. Because of this, librarians should be considered a great educational resource for parents in addition to the children's teacher. If your child is struggling with reading, a librarian can help you find age-appropriate books that interest your child and offer you additional support by offering recommendations and techniques. Librarians are also up to date on the newest educational programs, tools, studies, and findings from studies to give you reliable science-backed information. Libraries also offer a play area for young children, often with comfortable seating, puzzles, puppets, and educational toys. The children's area is usually away from the quieter adult section, allowing for children to play more freely without interfering the other patrons. Bringing young children into the library offers parents several great opportunities. First, the experience allows the child to learn how to behave within a public space, particularly a library, while also offering the opportunity for them to play and let out some energy. Second, as the child becomes more comfortable with the library experience and the resources that it provides, it will help the child become ready for learning once they go to school. Third, it cultivates and nurtures creativity and the desire to learn, which will serve them well throughout their life in and outside of school. I had an opportunity to conduct an interview with Lindsay Sanford, the Adult Services Librarian at my local library, and I learned that the most popular programs are the Children's Summer Reading Program, the county-wide bookmark contest, and summer family events like Wild Wednesday. Last summer, the library hosted fun, entertaining, and educational presentations featuring a reptile sanctuary, a bird of prey sanctuary, some science experiments, as well as a couple of magicians, all of which were particularly popular with children and parents. For students of all ages, the library provides a variety of resources. When I began writing essay assignments in middle school, I usually started by asking a librarian for help. They taught me how to choose a topic, which can often be a daunting first step for any student. Once I selected a topic, the next step was researching appropriate resources. Of course, my teachers at school taught me which texts are considered reliable sources, but it was the librarians that taught me how to use the card catalog to narrow down my search. For example, if I were writing an essay on bears, a librarian would help me narrow down the topic to grizzly bears within North America. That would be much easier to find information for and write a short essay on instead of trying to include all species of bears across the globe in a 2 to 3 page paper. As a millennial, I grew up with learning how to use computers, although my family was unable to afford one at home. My local public library allowed me to take my developing typing and technological skills and continue practicing. In addition to computers, libraries also provide Wi-Fi and some minor printing services for a small fee. I would not have made it through my high school English classes without the computer and technology resources at my local library. Some rural libraries will even offer Wi-Fi hotspots for their patrons to take home and borrow for work or school. Given that libraries provide so many technological resources, it can be hard to imagine that students are using other library services. But according to a March 2014 study conducted by Brian Reel, Giancarlo Bertot, and Paul Yeager, that is not usually the case. They found that generally people that use internet and technological resources at their library, they also take advantage of other programs and services that are offered. Some libraries will also offer study areas, meeting rooms, and even classrooms to the local community. If you are in high school or college, these can be invaluable places to meet for study groups, tutoring, exam prep, and more. My local library also has a teen writing group that meets monthly. This is a great way for teens in the area to connect and help improve their writing skills, as well as pursue a hobby. They also have teen films that they try to do bi-monthly during the summer months. And several years ago, the library hosted a teen lock-in weekend with games, snacks, movies, and prizes. Some libraries will offer game nights, crafting events, reading challenges, science presentations, and other educational programs specifically for teenagers. They are a great way for them to learn while also having fun and connecting with friends in a safe and educational space. In my interview with Lindsay Sanford, she said that she has noticed a decline in teenagers actively participating in events that they offer since the 2020 shutdown. While they have asked them for ideas on what events they would like to see and attend, the library has not received much constructive feedback. If you have any teens at home and want them to get more involved within their local community or educational environments outside of school, maybe help them brainstorm about what events they'd like to see at their local library and take their suggestions to your local librarians. The nature of programs, resources, and services that libraries provide for children and students is primarily educational in nature, but for adults, they can bring additional opportunities for networking and building community. Like the other age groups, books, computers, and printing services are frequently used by adults. Faxing services are usually offered as well. Some public libraries will offer notary services for documents. They also offer tax forms during the tax season, and some libraries may offer classes on how to properly file tax documents. They have also offered different educational classes for my local community, such as how to use Word, PowerPoint, Publisher, Excel, and even Photoshop. More recently, I have seen more libraries, particularly in cities, offer author meet and greets, sci-fi and romance book conventions. Other libraries have also begun offering a library of things with items such as vacuums, carpet cleaners, tools, baking mixers, a 3D printer, gaming systems, and even more, all based on feedback from patrons. Public libraries also offer a variety of groups and clubs that adults can join based on their hobbies and interests. My local library has a genealogy group that meets monthly. Seasoned genealogists, alongside those that are just beginning to research their family history, are welcomed and assisted. There is also a monthly basket weaving group and an origami group that meet both at the large main branch library and a couple smaller libraries within the branch. Each library branch has their own book club, while the main branch offers two separate book clubs headed by two adult librarians based on different interests. Having a variety of book clubs within the library system allows community members to pick and choose which club they would prefer to join for that month or go to multiple book club meetings within the month. My local library also hosts at least 2 craft events per month exclusively for adults. In the past, they have made evergreen wreaths, candles, soap, string and pin art, macrame keychains, decoupage lanterns, stained glass, wood burning and etching crafts, painting, cameos, and more. Knitting and crocheting and embroidery groups also meet weekly or monthly. These groups allow adults to connect, make new friends in a welcoming environment while developing or learning their preferred hobby. While coffee shops are often touted as a third space for adults to meet publicly, there is the expectation to spend money. Money is not required at these events offered at the library, since the materials at crafting events are paid for and the library hosts the hobby groups and they simply bring their own supplies, so no registration or payment is usually required to join the group. Especially since after the 2020 COVID shutdown, I think most of us are craving a sense of community. I don't think many of us have become as social as we were before the pandemic. Becoming more active in groups of crafters and hobbyists at your local library would allow you to rebuild your own community. According to an observational study performed by Bataluga Buyanemic, Mila Gasco Hernandez, and J. Ramon Gil Garcia from the University of Albany in February 2019, people that are more involved within their local library tend to be more active within their local community as well. Having a strong sense of connection with your local community can manifest in other ways through the library. Before the pandemic, my local library hosted several forums with government officials, such as our local representatives, the mayor, some city commissioners, and even one of our state senators. Many libraries within my area have begun hosting such forums again, and they're a great way to learn about legislation, policies, new businesses, ask questions, and get information that directly affect you and your town or city. For those of you that are not involved in your local library or weren't aware of all the services and programs that they offer, I hope that I have sparked a desire for you to become more involved. Being an active patron at your library will allow you to connect and network with others in your community by learning a new skill, hobby, and perhaps even attending an educational event. Now, for those of you that are active patrons at your local library, I really encourage you to give feedback to your librarians, attend a board meeting, offer suggestions, and perhaps even volunteer. Librarians need feedback to determine what ways they can meet the needs of their community. Maybe you see a lot of help wanted signs in your town, so the library could host a job fair to help those businesses get applications. Perhaps a few kids in your son's science class are struggling with biology, so one of the librarians or another volunteer could host some tutoring sessions. For more information regarding library services and programs, I really strongly encourage you to check out the American Library Association at www.ala.org. They offer a variety of information for patrons and librarians. A library is often a heart of its community, and in order to thrive, it needs people to connect with one another. And these are my references here.